I want to go right to the courthouse. Let's start with what we heard from the jurors in this new note today.
So we needed clarification on what they wanted out of jury instructions, right? We didn't know if they wanted the entirety of the jury instructions read back to them after yesterday's note, or they wanted a portion. Well, it turns out they wanted a portion. They essentially wanted what the jury considers as evidence in the lead up to count one, because that's really the entirety of all of the instructions. If you remember, the judge in his initial instructions did not go through every count, and that was in order to save time because all of the instructions together took an hour and 15 minutes. So that's exactly what he's doing now, the lead up to count one, what the jury can consider as evidence. It's pages 6 through 35 or so. That is what Judge Juan Merchan is reading to the jurors right now. I have the entirety of the jury instructions in my hand right now, 55 pages worth. And as I was looking through what it is the jury is being read back to, it started out with drawing inferences, right? And there's this example made by the judge in drawing inferences as to the fact that it rained outside, right? You went to bed, it wasn't raining. However, you got up in the morning, the ground looked wet, people are walking around with umbrellas, but you don't necessarily see rain falling from the sky. So you can draw an inference that, in fact, it rained and or it may rain in the future. That is an example he gave, for instance, in drawing inferences within his jury instructions. They go through limiting instructions as well. Now, this is interesting because you remember two of the questions that they asked of the four regarding Pecker, regarding Michael Cohen's testimony as well. And it seemed as if it was about Pecker and Cohen's testimony when it came to that Trump Tower meeting in 2015, drawing credibility when it comes to Pecker and Michael Cohen. Within these limiting instructions, they talk about the fact that Pecker struck this deal with the FEC along with the SDNY, this non-prosecution deal, and to use that to assess his credibility, not to assess whether or not Donald Trump is guilty or not guilty. When it comes to Michael Cohen as well, yes, in fact, he pled guilty. Yes, in fact, he lied under oath. To use those things to assess his credibility, not to use those things, though, to assess whether or not Donald Trump is guilty or not guilty. They talk about not to draw inferences from the fact that the former president decided not to testify. They talked about reasonable doubt. New York election law. They're going to get into New York election law, federal election law, tax law as well. This all makes up on the 6 to 35 page that Judge Juan Merchan is now reading back to the jury when it comes to these jury instructions. I am also being told numerous jurors inside the jury box right now, 4 of them to be specific, are taking notes. Remember, they cannot take this back into the deliberation room, right? Every time they have a question about jury instructions and or the law, they have to bring a note, ring the bell, send a note to the judge, and be brought back into the courtroom to be read back those jury instructions.